Hey Plant Pals, Mike the Cat Gardener, and today's video is on mung bean sprouts. I made a video in the past about me making mung bean sprouts, which nobody saw because I gave it a weird name. I named it Food We Can All Grow, and I think it was a little too, it's not a great name, so nobody watched the video. So when I was showing me using the mung bean sprouts, people were saying, "Where'd you get those sprouts?" So and I tell them that I made a video and I never saw the viewership go up at all. So I figured I would update that video with a normal title and add a few extra twists and a little bit of extra information on easy ways for people to grow their own bean sprouts at home. So I showed the jars in the past. I've shown how you use the beans, and I've shown this lid that just screws on here, and it's got feet so that when you turn it upside down, it'll drain off into this, and then you just, every 3 times a day, you want to rinse the sprouts out and drain them, and you repeat that process for between 3 and 5 days until you get the desired size and flavor of the bean sprouts. Some people like their bean sprouts. Some people put their bean sprouts in a sunny window or a grow light after they grow to a certain size because they like that kind of chloroform, green taste. I like mine just to have the I like mine to be the white chlorophinated, I guess you would say, state. There are people who completely cover them in darkness. I haven't found that necessary because I'm inside. As you see, it's kind of dark. There's a window here, but it's on the wrong side of the house, so it doesn't get any light at all. And plus, there's an awning over it, so light or dark, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect the sprouts at all. I showed this is just a system that you can purchase to make bean sprouts in that has a lip here that stands up so that the water can drain out as you're growing the bean sprouts. I'm not going to use that at all today because I showed that in the past. Here is a mason jar lid with screens you can buy. Oops. Off of Amazon or other places, Walmart. It's just a metal screen that you can screw it on top of your jar for growing sprouts. And I'm not even going to use that because some people don't, they won't have that. But what most people will have is cheesecloth. I bought a big bag of cheesecloth, and you can see I've been using it. Cut pieces off, and all you have to do is put it over your lid, screw your lid on, and then when you have, this is just a bowl that I have, and this was from a rice cooker. And what I do is I just rest the beans on that so that the water, because you want to have enough moisture so that the sprouts grow. And my flash went out. This phone is not good. Technology. Seriously, right in the middle of my video. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna carry on. Hopefully, it's bright enough to where you can see. But yeah, so you want the moisture to let the sprouts grow, but you don't want it to be soggy because that way they'll start to rot. So it's kind of a balancing act. And so some people if you have a jar that has a lip, see this bowl won't let the jar, but if you have a bowl that has an angle that'll let the jar stand up, you can just do it that way. I don't have a bowl like that, so I just improvised and I do like that. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, like I said, I've gone through the process before, so I'm not going to bore you with that, but I did just want to show how simple it is with just a mason jar and a piece of cheesecloth, you can grow your own mung bean sprouts or lentil sprouts, broccoli sprouts, any kind of sprouts. All right. So what I will do is I will get the process going of soaking. What you do is you put your measurement of mung beans into the jar. I'm going to put the exact same amount in both jars just for demonstration purposes. Here's my mung beans. And what you do is you let them soak for 24 hours. Well, first see, I messed up the steps. First, what you do is you want to make sure the beans are rinsed so that there's no rocks or anything in the beans, because that would be unpleasant to bite into what you think are bean sprouts and you're biting into a rock. So you want to make sure that the beans, sprouts are thoroughly rinsed, clean, check them. Then you soak them for 24 hours or overnight. I like 24 hours because they seem to really work best that way. And then every day you rinse them, drain them, rinse them 3 times a day, and then you will have delicious mung bean sprouts. So, all right, I'm gonna get that going, and I'll come back and film the. I'll just film the results because, like I said, I've showed I showed the steps of rinsing and everything in the past video, and there are tons and tons of videos on it. Here, I just wanted to show you an alternative to having these specialized screens. So I'm going to do this jar completely using just the cheesecloth. And then I'll be back in like 3 or 4 days to show you how they look. All right. I will be back. It's been 5 days total. I did 1 day of soaking and then 4 days of doing the rinse and drain 3 times a day. And here are my sprouts. Now, the interesting thing is, the reason why I love doing this sort of thing as an experiment is these are the exact same amount of mung beans, the seeds, well, the beans, rather, were the exact same amount, were put each in this large jar here with this type of lid, and then this jar, smaller jar here with the cheesecloth, and you can see a huge difference. And they were both had the same amount of light, the same amount of watering, but you can see these are almost well, they are seedlings. They have true leaves on, starting to develop on them, where these ones are still just sprouts. And what I can surmise the difference is that with the cheesecloth one, it wasn't getting as much airflow and didn't have as much breathing room as this one here, which had the screen bottom, which I prefer. And so you can see the roots are able to grow actually through the screen. And I'm going to open them up and I'll put them each in a bowl. Smaller bowl, of course, is for this one because it didn't do much. And the bigger bowl here is for this one here. Now, I prefer my sprouts to be about this stage. And they're grown the exact same amount of time, same amount of light, no difference in the amount of rinsing or anything. It's just the difference. Only difference is the size of the jar and the screen that I used. So that's very interesting to me. I love that. See, now in the past I would just use the cheesecloth and not think anything of it, but now that I've seen this experiment, and I will repeat it a few times just to make sure for my own personal information whether the difference was just a fluke or if it's actually something that's proven. That's what science is you prove these things by repeating the experiment. But yeah, so clearly to me so far the big difference is this bowl over here is the screen versus cheesecloth. But I just wanted to do this just to show you that you can be done with just a cheesecloth. But why not just spend $4? Is what I spent to get this cap for the mason jar when it clearly makes a big difference. All right. Let me open these jars and put them in the bowl. Once again, I forgot to bring my tripod, so nah, I won't grab my tripod. I was going to grab the tripod, set everything up and all that, but you can figure out what opening a jar looks like. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open the jars. I'm going to put the sprouts in each bowl, and I'll show you the results. Be right back. Okay, so cheesecloth. This is what the sprouts look like. Again, if you want to get rid of the little green parts, which I don't mind them. These were with the little husk from the bean. I like them. They taste fine to me, but some people don't like them. So what you do is you just float. You just fill like this bowl up full of water, and then these will float to the top. The little skins will float to the top, and you just give them off and discard them. But I like the taste of them. They don't bother me, so I leave them in there when I have my salads or stir fries. But take a look at this. Again, the exact same amount. But these are kind of past due because they have true leaves, they have roots. Now I could take this and put this in the ground and I could grow a mung bean plant easily. I pulled one here as an example. It's got roots. This is a plant. This is, well, I mean, you could eat this as a microgreen. I mean, this is edible. I'm going to eat it. But it has roots growing on it already. So I could easily put this into soil if I, well, right now it's, wintertime has come to my state pretty much. So I couldn't do this outside. But if I had a pot and some soil, I could grow this thing inside. Or I could just stick this in an arrow garden and, keep it alive until spring and grow my own mung bean plant. And you can do that with, broccoli, basil, any germinating seed that you want to make sprouts from. You could, like as I said in the past, these would grow full-size plants. The reason why they're pale like that is because I don't have them under light. You put them under grow light, they'll green up and turn into full-size plants. But these will be very tasty in a stir fry, so nothing's going to go to waste. All right, so that was my fun. That was the experiment. So I have learned from this that I highly recommend that you also get these screens, and they have ones that are just screens. I like the one with the feet just because it's so easy, because you just turn the jar upside down and the water will drain out into the, what you usually have this, and you have your jar and you turn it upside down and the water, oops, put it over there like that, and then the water will drain into the bottom there. And usually there's not much because you're shaking it out. You should be doing this in the sink, of course, and draining all the water out before you turn it back over. But some, there's a few, drops of water will still come out and you want to catch it. That's why I had the bowl before that I demonstrated. But the cheesecloth one, I had the bowl that I would turn this upside down over. And like I said, if you have a jar, like say, like this jar here, if I rest it like that, and I had a screen on there, the water would come out. All right, that's fun. Hopefully we all learned something and had fun along the way. All right, any questions, comments, leave in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have an awesome day.